Arthur is an animated television series that revolves around the life of a young aardvark named Arthur Reed. The series is set in a fictional city called Elwood, and the show primarily focuses on Arthur's experiences at home, school, with his friends and family. Each episode typically explores common childhood challenges and experiences such as friendship, schoolwork, sibling rivalry, and other moral dilemmas. The series is also known for its educational content and its ability to address serious topics such as disabilities, diversity, and social issues in a way that's accessible to its young audience. Today we're going to take a look at an episode that has more of a darker tone and that deals with psychological issues such as PTSD, guilt, and anxiety. The episode is called April 9th. This episode is a metaphor for what happened during the 9/11 attack on the Twin Towers in New York. The episode aired on PBS on November 29th in 2002, about a year later after 9/11. Instead of directly referencing the Twin Towers or 9/11 in general, this episode uses a school fire as a symbol of what happened during that day. This episode is also told from the viewpoint of 4 different characters: Arthur, Buster, Sue Ellen, and Binky. The episode begins with the kids getting ready for school. Sue Ellen puts a postcard from Bolivia in her special journal. Arthur finds out his dad is serving breakfast at his school and asks for a ride. Muffy and Binky also head to school, and Buster oversleeps because he didn't hear his alarm going off.
April 9th? Oh no. I completely forgot. I have to cater a breakfast at Arthur's school.
Can I go with you in the van? Mom! Arthur's crazy dog is staring at me again. It's only because you're eating so slowly. You're teasing him. Bye-bye, Daddy. Have a great day.
Hey!
Now in class, Mr. Ratburn hands back graded tests when he suddenly smells smoke. The fire alarm begins to sound and everyone starts to leave the school. Sue Ellen realizes that she left her backpack with her journal inside and she can't go back for it. Binky sees the fire and gets very anxious.
What's that smell?
What's going on? Hey, I smell smoke.
All right, children, remain calm. Form a line at the front of the class. Okay, class, follow me and don't run. Stay in line, Sue Ellen. Come along, Binky.
Mr. Morris quickly shuts the door of the flames to protect everyone inside, and Mr. Ratburn tells everyone to quickly exit the building. Everyone is gathered anxiously outside. The kids quickly find out Mr. Morris injured his leg and was taken to the hospital. Arthur is worried about his dad, but is reassured that he's fine.
Is Mr. Morris gonna be okay?
He'll be fine. He just injured his leg. He was very lucky.
You don't understand. My dad's still in there. He needs help.
Don't worry, Arthur. My crew is looking for him. They're gonna get him out.
Can I just see him?
Stop! It's not safe to go in there yet.
Sue Ellen became devastated after realizing that her journal was destroyed in the fire, and Arthur is grateful to see that his dad is safe. After the firefighters leave, Buster finally arrives, and Francine explains what happens. Buster feels upset that he missed out on such a big event.
My journal! Dad!
Well, what's going on?
There was a fire in the school. I think our classroom was pretty badly damaged.
A fire? In the school? Oh, it's not fair.
It'll be all right, Buster.
Oh, I know. I just can't believe the biggest event of the year happened and I slept through the whole thing.
While hanging out in the treehouse, Arthur and the gang discuss the fire that had happened at school. Francine finds it hard to believe that their school is gone when they were just there yesterday. They all learn they have to go to a different elementary school until Lakewood is fixed. Binky tries to hide his fear of the fire and leaves after Buster annoys him.
I can't get over it. We were in that classroom just yesterday, and now it's all burned.
And tomorrow we're going to school at Mighty Mountain. Have you seen those kids? They're huge.
I'm just happy my dad got out okay. He could have been really hurt.
Yep. Those flames were spreading pretty fast.
You actually saw the flames? No way!
What'd they look like?
It was no big deal.
Really? Weren't you scared?
Nah, takes more than a little fire to scare me.
Oh, come on, Binky. You must have been a little scared.
Nope.
Wow, I know I would be, with all that black smoke around and the suffocating heat. and
Knock
those
it
hot-
off. I said I wasn't afraid. End of conversation.
What's gotten into him? He usually just takes the top scoop.
Arthur and the rest hear Sue Ellen crying in the treehouse over her ruined journal. Muffy suggests she can buy a new one, not understanding Sue Ellen's attachment to the journal since she had it since the first grade.
Why is she still upset? It's just a journal. You can buy them at any stationery store.
She's had that journal since first grade, Muffy.
Muffy tries to cheer up Sue Ellen with their new journal, but it doesn't work. Buster feels left out because he wasn't at the fire, so he starts exaggerating the story to the students at Mighty Mountain Elementary. Arthur sees this, gets upset with Buster for not taking the fire seriously, knowing that his dad could have been seriously hurt.
Here, I was going to wrap it, but I couldn't find any paper that matched. What is it? A new journal with acid-free paper and a faux velvet cover. You seem so upset about your old one. I thought this would cheer you up. Thanks, but I don't want it. You don't want it? Why? This is much nicer than that ratty thing you had. That ratty thing I had was filled with personal stuff. Stuff that can't be replaced. But thanks for the thought, Muffy. This wasn't cheap, you know. $8, and it was on sale.
Smoke was everywhere. You could hardly see your own hands. Suddenly, the whole wall burst into flames. I ran as hard as I could, and
Buster?
then
What are you talking about? You weren't even there.
Okay, I wasn't there. But these are all true accounts told to me by actual witnesses.
No, they aren't. Don't listen to a word he says. He made it all up.
Oh, man.
What'd you do that for? They were really enjoying the story.
Because it's not a story. It really happened. Do you realize my dad could have been really hurt in that fire?
Oh, well, I guess I never thought of it that way.
That night, Buster talked to his mom about the fire that happened at his school, and he doesn't know how to feel about it. Meanwhile, Arthur finds out that his dad's next catering job is at an aquarium. Arthur's dad reassures him that schools are normally safe and explains that the fire was caused by faulty wiring, which could have happened anywhere. Later that night, Arthur has a nightmare about his dad being attacked.
How come I don't feel as upset as the other kids about the fire?
Well, it might be because you weren't actually there. But it's okay, Buster. There's no one way you have to feel.
I just wish I felt something.
Sometimes it just takes some people a little longer than others to feel upset.
Really? Can it take days? Oh, I hope I don't get upset tomorrow afternoon. There's a 2-hour Bionic Bunny special I want to watch.
I don't know how long it'll take, sweetie. But you might want to tape that special. There's something I'd like you to do tomorrow.
Good night, Arthur.
Night, Dad. Oh, Dad, where's your next catering job going to be?
I have one at the aquarium next week, a convention of deep-sea fishermen.
The aquarium? Good. I was worried it might be at another school.
Arthur, schools are safe places. The fire chief said it was just some faulty wiring.
I know, but I'm still happy you're not going back into a school. Good night.
And this one's from a moray eel. 18 stitches from that vicious con.
I have a minnow bite.
It was the last time I pulled in the port. You should have seen him when I put two legs.
Hey, Reed! Any more of them crab cakes about?
Coming right up.
Right to the edge. He was a little scared, but a little shove would hurt him.
Hey!
Help! Somebody!
Gee, on his in the eye!
Go mammals!
Hey, that's my dad! Someone help him! Dad!
Sorry, lad. I can't let you go in there. It's too dangerous.
The next day, Buster visits Mr. Morris in the hospital and discovers they both have asthma and love chocolate, which sparked a new friendship. The following day, the students are preparing for a test. Buster talks about his new friendship with Mr. Morris, and Sue Ellen finally accepts a new journal Muffy bought her. Suddenly, a mysterious hand in the hallway pulls the fire alarm.
Good Good morning, Mr. Morris. My name is Buster Baxter, and I'm here to see how you're doing.
Are you a doctor?
No. I'm a third grader from Lakewood Elementary School.
Good. The doctors say I gotta go easy on the sweets, but that crosswire kid sent me 5 boxes of these truffle things. Take your coat off. Make yourself comfortable.
Thanks, but I've got to meet someone. I just came to drop these off. They're from my mom.
Oh, okay. Diller, thanks.
Dr. Davis, telephone, please. Dr. Davis, telephone, please.
Hey, I have asthma too. See?
Hey, I like your color choice. Do you also have allergies? I've got pollen, dander, and peanuts, but not chocolate. Thank goodness. Here, have as many as you like.
Dr. Blair, Dr. J. Dr. J.
I guess I can be a little late. And Mr. Morris plays the accordion and speaks Portuguese and even worked as a dog groomer once.
Wow, he sounds really interesting.
You don't sound too interested.
Sorry, Buster. I'm just tired. I had the worst nightmare last night.
Did you have pepperoni right before bed? If I eat pepperoni after 8, I dream the penguins are after me.
I don't believe it. You kids even beat us at thumb wrestling? Come on, best of 7. You're going to love this one. See, I had it personalized for you. Property of Sue Ellen. And it's bound in genuine imitation suede. But wait, don't thank me yet. It also comes with this stunning pen. Thank you, Muffy. I feel so much better now.
A test.
Well, at least some things never change.
After the school is empty, Francine tells Arthur and Buster that it was just a false alarm because someone pulled a fire alarm as a joke. Buster is sad because he still hasn't experienced a real fire. Binky comes over and laughs at how scared the kids from the school they're attending were. But then Binky accidentally admits that he was the one who pulled the fire alarm by saying he timed how long it took for the firefighters to get there. Binky realizes he's in big trouble when he sees the look on Buster, Arthur, and Francine's faces.
I just overheard. It's a false alarm.
A false alarm? Aw, so I'm still the only one who hasn't been through a fire? What rotten luck.
Buster, that's good luck.
Not for the person who pulled the fire alarm.
Someone pulled the fire alarm?
Who would do a thing like that?
Did you see those mighty mountain dweebs run? What a bunch of scaredy cats. But I was really impressed with the firefighters. It only took them 3 minutes and 29 seconds to get here. It's nice to know they're so fast. What? You don't think
Is this your knapsack?
Binky writes an apology letter to the Mighty Mountain principal and Mr. Haney, but he doesn't say why he pulled the fire alarm. As punishment, Mr. Haney makes Binky do community service by picking up litter in the park.
Bottles and cans go in the blue bags and everything else goes in the green bags. Any change you find is yours.
Ansky, you missed a spot.
So which one of you is gonna help us pick this stuff up? Firefighters.
How do you know those guys?
I used to be a volunteer firefighter.
Really? So, did you ever actually see a fire?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, being close to flames is scary stuff. But you know all about that, right?
No, I don't. I mean, yeah, I guess I was pretty close, but I wasn't afraid.
Okay.
Later on, Buster is visiting Mr. Morris. When Buster offers to get him more soda, Mr. Morris insists on doing it himself because he needs to get used to his crutches. Buster thinks Mr. Morris will heal quickly because he knew a kid who got his cast off in a few weeks. Mr. Morris explains that his injury is more serious because he's old and might not ever be the same. The next morning, Arthur's dad is getting ready to go to the aquarium. Arthur pretends to be sick to make his dad stay home, but he knows that Arthur isn't really sick and understands that Arthur is worried about him because of the fire. Arthur's dad shares a story from his childhood when he was Arthur's age and Grandma Thora was in a car accident. She wasn't hurt, but he was scared that she might have been in another accident every time she drove. In order to make himself feel better, he crumbled up a piece of paper and threw it into the wastebasket. believing if he could make more shots than he missed, his mom would come home safely.
Do you know that when I was your age, Grandma Thora was in a car accident? She wasn't hurt. But for weeks afterwards, I was worried whenever she set foot in a car. Even when she just went to the store for a bottle of milk, I was afraid she'd be in another car accident. While I was waiting for her to return, I'd shoot crumpled up balls of paper into the wastebasket, and I told myself that if I made more baskets than I missed, she would come home safely. It seemed to work. Now, of course, I was a pretty good shot. Then one day, I forgot to do it. She was gone for 3 hours, and I didn't shoot one basket. And you know what happened?
What?
She came home just fine. It's my job to worry about you, Arthur, not the other way around. Help me bring these to the van?
By April 18th, Sue Ellen is having a hard time writing in her new journal at the park. Suddenly, she gets an idea from seeing some painters work on a mural. When Lakewood Elementary reopens, Francine interviews various students for the school paper. Buster wants the bathrooms to stay clean for Mr. Morrison while he recovers. Sue Ellen is excited to show that she found a piece of a postcard she lost from her old journal. Binky still can't stop thinking about the fire. He hallucinates smoke in the renovated teacher's lounge and runs out of school in terror. Binky is crying while walking on the sidewalk when Mr. Frensky finds him. Binky finally confessed that he's still scared of the fire and is too frightened to go back to school because he keeps seeing flames and smoke. Mr. Frensky understands Binky's feelings and shares that he had a similar problem when he saw his first fire up close. Mr. Frensky says that talking about it made him feel better. Binky admits that he feels a little better after sharing his fear, but still doesn't want to go back to school.
It's okay, Binky. Believe me, I know how you feel.
You do?
Sure I do. When I saw my first fire close up, I had trouble sleeping for weeks. But after some time passed, I didn't feel so scared.
Why not?
I did what we're doing right now, talking about it. Don't you feel a tiny bit better now that you've told someone how you really feel?
Yeah, but I still don't want to go back to school.
How about this? I'll call Mr. Haney to let him know where you are. Then you can do the rounds with me. After that, we'll see how you feel. Sound good?
Can I operate the crusher?
Only if you join the union, Barnes.
Now in Mr. Ratburn's new classroom, they all have cake to celebrate the reopening. Buster asks for an extra slice from Mr. Morris, only to find out that Mr. Morris is retiring. After school, Buster goes to Mr. Morris's house, where Mr. Morris explains that he's moving in with his daughter, who lives in a ranch in New Mexico. Buster offers to let Mr. Morris live with him and his mom. Mr. Morris is grateful for the offer, but he feels it's best to move in with family. Before leaving, Mr. Morris gives Buster his old accordion as a gift to remember him by, and assure Buster that he can visit him anytime.
To tell you the truth, I love living here, but I'm going to need someone to look after me for a while.
Well, I could do that. I'd look after you.
I appreciate that, Buster, but I think my daughter's better suited for the job. But there is something you can do for me. Her name's Beatrice. My daughter never cared much for the sound. I'd like to know she was in good hands.
Wow, this is beautiful. I'll take really good care of her.
Thanks. Bring her along when you come and visit me in New Mexico. Roswell's down there, amigo. That's the capital of alien sightings.
That night, Arthur and Buster are talking, using walkie-talkies, about the changes the fire has caused. Arthur finds out that his dad has returned home safely from his catering work. Sue Ellen writes in her new journal that it's near 1 month since April 9th happened. Although she doesn't want to experience another fire, she's glad that her and her friends made it through the situation and feels happy knowing that they can stick together through anything. Sue Ellen then turns off her light and goes to bed, and the episode ends.
April 9th. So much has happened since then. I never want to go through another fire, but I also never want to lose this feeling that each day is special, that my friends are the best friends in the world, and that if we stick together, we can make it through just about anything.
In my opinion, this is one of the best episodes of the series. It talks about a serious topic in a way that kids can understand without trying to talk down to them. Because even kids in elementary schools are starting to notice more about the world, and sometimes the world and the people in it are imperfect. I also appreciate how this episode portrays the emotions of each character experience during this traumatic event. Binky developed PTSD from witnessing the fire. Arthur became anxious and worried over his dad's safety, and Sue Ellen experienced grief over losing something precious to her. Even Buster, who overslept during the incident, represented those who were aware of the event that happened but didn't experience it firsthand, and that's a lot of people during tragic events. This episode still feels relevant today, and I wish more shows would talk about important topics like this.